In my early 20s, I landed a job as a storage worker in a local warehouse, an eerie place on the town's outskirts. This massive structure stood silently, nestled at the end of a desolate highway, prompting our ongoing jokes about the peculiar choice of location made by the company's owners. It felt like a world apart from everything else. And while it was probably chosen for its cost-effectiveness and easy access from the highway, pulling into that expansive, empty parking lot in the dead of night always sent a shiver down my spine. My shifts were primarily during the night, and my only companion was a colleague I'd simply call Tyler. Our task was straightforward: break down and organize the daily shipments, and stow them in their designated places within the warehouse. After a few weeks, the work became a monotonous, repetitive routine that I could perform with half-closed eyes on most nights. Tyler and I were the only overnight workers, so on certain days, we found ourselves toiling in solitude. This unsettling incident occurred during Tyler's vacation week, leaving me alone in the warehouse from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. every night. It was a Wednesday night, and immediately upon arrival, I sensed an eerie presence. In the farthest corner of the vast, deserted parking lot, a car sat in darkness. There was no sign of life around it, and the whole situation felt ominous on this isolated private property. I parked my car next to the entrance door, entered the building, and promptly called the police to investigate. While my instincts suggested it might be some teenagers or a stranded vehicle from the highway, the car's location on private property and its eerie isolation sent a chill down my spine. 20 minutes later, the police arrived at the front door. To their surprise, the car was empty, devoid of any occupants. They suspected it might be a breakdown and arranged for a tow truck to remove it. With that matter settled, I resumed my work, moving several shipments, which took approximately an hour. However, my concentration was shattered by a loud bang echoing from the front of the building. Alarmed, I hurriedly walked down and switched on the front lights, then approached the door. There, on the other side of the glass, stood a man. He bore an exhausted, haggard look and pressed his fist against the door. His presence and demeanor were deeply unsettling. I moved closer to the glass, speaking through it, my voice quivering with unease. "Are you okay? What are you doing here? This is private property." The man, his face twisted with disdain, shouted,
"Where's my car?"
as he continued to pound on the door. My attempts to explain were met with interruptions and escalating aggression. He screamed at me, demanding entry into the building. I resorted to threatening to call the police, eventually silencing him. He backed away, giving me one last disconcerting look before walking away. As I returned to my work, my thoughts raced, unable to shake the enigma of where that man had been all this time. I considered the possibility that he had gone to a gas station to get a canister for his car, but the distance and timing didn't add up. My mind wrestled with the inexplicable gaps in his story. After only a few minutes of resuming work, another loud bang resonated from the front door, leaving me both frustrated and frightened. Peering through the glass, I was taken aback by an unexpected sight: the same police officers who had responded earlier. They explained that they had received a call from the tow company, reporting concerning findings on the outside of the car's trunk that had gone unnoticed earlier. I shared everything I knew, including the man who had come inquiring about his car. They departed, leaving me with few updates until later in the week, when they returned with search dogs, combing the forest surrounding the warehouse. Rumors surfaced of dry, earthy blood on the car's back bumper. Once they obtained a warrant to search the vehicle, they uncovered even more blood inside the trunk. Their unsettling theory was that the man might have been attempting to bury a body in the forest near the warehouse. Nevertheless, no substantial evidence was found, and the man never came to retrieve his car from the tow company. He vanished. The unnerving proximity to a potential murderer left a lasting impact on me. During my final years working at the warehouse, I couldn't help but feel a sense of dread when working alone during night shifts. While it was improbable, the fear that the man might return to hold me accountable for my unwitting involvement always lingered in the back of my mind.